Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ashera with Agency Impulse, and today I just wanted to take a really quick moment to go over how to strengthen your self-booked appointments. Now, if you're working any lead that has the ability or provides the prospective client with the opportunity to book their own appointments based off of your current schedule, then 8 out of 10 times you're probably familiar with Calendly. A lot of agents like it because it's free, it's easy to use, it's convenient, and of course, obviously, it's also mobile friendly. There's a free version, there's a professional version. I personally have the professional version because of some of the other features that comes with it. But again, if you have an account, then it's more than likely that you're familiar with what this screen is. And so the system comes with some default settings that are there, and some agents will just kind of pop it there and then just take off running. But we're all about doing as much as we can to help ensure your success. And so as a result, we wanted to go ahead and do this quick video. This is how it looks by default, okay? There's just the time that you see here, I'm sorry, the name of the meeting, the time and date, the time zone, the prospect's name, the prospect's email address. There is actually a way that you can go in and get more detailed information before they actually schedule the appointment. This is a fantastic way to further qualify and weed out those tire kickers or people who just want to waste your time, waste your slots, things of that nature. But one of the first things that we always recommend is that you retitle the name of the meeting. Is it a final expense consultation? Is it a living benefit or mortgage protection consultation? Is it a needs analysis? Is it a navigation? Is it an exploration? You want to give it a nice little catchy name that further inspires them to book the appointment with you. This is your canvas. This is your opportunity to start building that rapport and to get them to not only schedule the appointment, but to also keep it. Okay, so yeah, so this is how it looks. This is like a basic way. One of the first things that I would say is to retitle that. A lot of agents are starting to look into some other ways, or we have them kind of complaining because they're saying, hey, do they know that it's an in-home appointment, or they're not showing up, or things of that nature. There's not a whole lot that we can do. If they're going to no-show you, they're going to no-show you. But you can do a couple different things to kind of get that down to a minimum. And one of the easiest things that you can do is include the word in home in your title. So uh, if you want to use, like, I don't know, final expense exploration, or final expense qualification, or final expense consultation, if you just add the word in home to it, that often starts to set the tone, and it gets them to understand that this person is going to come to see me 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, what have you. But yeah, they're coming to see me, and so they're already getting into that state of mind. But just off of this example, I would definitely recommend that you add a field. There's a question in the settings portion of the of Calendly. It's going to ask you, what questions do you want to ask. That is where you would add the phone number. You definitely want the phone number. You definitely want to reconfirm the email address, just in case Calendly only needs their email address to be able to operate. But if you have a pro account, or if you get lost, or I mean, there's so many different things that can come into play. You definitely want to, at the minimum, go ahead and get that email address and add it to the form, okay? But this is just the basic example that's available, or how Calendly comes by default, okay? The second one that I'm going to show you is a little bit more detailed. This is one of our mutual customers, but she actually elected to put a 60 minutes in-home meeting. And then, as you can see here, she did name, email address, phone number, and then their home address. We do get a lot of questions. Hey, how do we find out whether or not it's an apartment, or anything of that nature? You can add some more questions to that. You can ask if it's a home or an apartment, but then if you do that, then you will also have to add another field for whether or not If they click that it's an apartment, you can add something that says, if it's like what the apartment number is, but that's too many fields. So that's entirely up to you. If you elect to add other lines revolving around just the address itself, caveat emptor, you just have to be careful when you do that. But anyway, so we just put your home address and we enable for them to type in that full address, but then of course that phone number is there. What I would recommend here, though, is that you add the nearest intersection. Anytime we're booking appointments, I don't care what kind of address they've given you. You guys know just as well as I do that sometimes they may give you an address, but if they give you an address, it won't necessarily have, maybe the GPS can't pick it up. Maybe it sends you somewhere wrong. Maybe your battery goes dead and you can't pull up the address in your GPS, or I mean there's so many different things. But if you go ahead and ask them for that nearest intersection, what's the nearest intersection to your home, then a lot of times they'll key that in, and that also further puts them in the mental state of being that, okay, this person is coming to see me. So if they put that nearest intersection in there, that can help you a lot as well. And even when we're booking appointments, when we're running presets, that is one of the questions that we always encourage that you guys ask is, what's the nearest intersection to your home or color of your house, especially if they're in a house. But a more universal way would be to just ask them what's the nearest intersection to their home. The next thing that you may want to do, especially if you do more than one type of product, as you can see here, she did area or areas of interest. Area of interest. You can do final expense insurance, mortgage protection, annuities. I would recommend to put a radio button for other. Even if the ad was specifically run for final expense, this is still a good time to be able to kind of tickle them a little bit and let them know, hey, we have other options for you, and then take it from there. So you put that other button, they can click that, and then you already know what you're coming there for, and they know as well. So again, things like this, believe it or not, it seems small, but it helps. It really, really helps. The last example that I want to give you is from an even more detailed profile that we just love. We think it's great. But what happens is he elected to put a final expense qualification. Looking at this video, I'm sorry, looking at this page, I would say he should probably put like a consultation or or something like that on there so that they know that this is a consultation, but this is the route that he's gone. But anyway, yeah, so it's the time and date that's there, their time zone, and then look what he did with his canvas. He actually took the time to say, hey, I work with the top carriers in the state and have policies to fit every budget. Health worries, get access to policies with no medical exam. Got you covered. That's a great time, a great way, because this is speaking for you before you get to speak to them. So you can start to tell your personality, give them a little rah-rah, and let them know why they should not only book the appointment with you, but keep the appointment with you. Okay. So he's gathering the name, the email address, the type of insurance coverage that they want to talk about, how old they are, so he can start pulling quotes. Immediate coverage is available for all of these conditions. Check all that apply. And then he did a little bit of a, I guess, vetting or pre-screening there for, I guess, maybe if he knows something that's going to be an automatic decline. He's qualifying his customers at this point. I have used tobacco in the past 12 months. The last thing, if you use tobacco, would you be interested in a non-smoker rate until you quit? He's, going into more and more detail. That question, you definitely want to try to keep your questions to a minimum, meaning is absolutely necessary. But I'm just giving this to you as an example of some of the things that you can do when you are presenting the opportunity for them to book their own appointment so that they know that this is an appointment. This person is coming to see me. We are going to be talking about insurance when they get in touch with me or when they come to my home. Okay. But yeah, and then it says phone number, and he says I only call if there's an emergency and we need to reschedule. So you say what you will, but I'm just showing this to you guys as an example so that you can better understand the different things that you can do in order to solidify your self-booked appointments It's not self-booked appointments can be wonderful, fantastic, but you know, you ever heard the saying, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. The same thing goes for this. Your Calendly calendar or your online calendar is your canvas, and will it always be closing, the ABCs of selling? Use your calendar to not only book more appointments, but also to encourage your clients to keep them. So I hope that you found this video to be be helpful. It did run over a little bit longer than expected, but I'm just really just wanting to see you guys succeed. So I hope you found it to be helpful. Thanks so much for tuning in, and you have a great day.